if you can give a student a superpower, right, to get them to and through college, what would that superpower be and why?
Yeah, well, I like to use this superpower because, my name begins with an R, Reginald, so I like to kind
Yeah.
of stick with those. Resilient. I want students to
Yeah.
know that college is not just academics.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
about navigating life, those transitions that you're going to face, how to pivot. So the more resilient that we can try to mold our students today,
Right.
especially in this early in their college career, the more successful they will be when they walk across that stage.
Hello, welcome back to season 4, y'all. Season 4 of How to Play the Game of College, y'all. When I say we have been rolling this season with some really, really great guests, just some great nuggets that they are dropping. And today, it is no exception, y'all. I'm so excited about the guest that we have today, Mr. Reginald Lambert. Let me welcome you to the podcast first, man. You doing okay?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Dr. Boyd?
Man, I am doing good and just so glad to have Shorter College in Little Rock, Arkansas, man, represented today on the podcast. So we're going to go ahead and dive into it, man. I'm just excited about the questions and the responses that you're going to give. I know that it's really going to help so many students and parents or anyone that might be watching the podcast. How does it sound, man?
Hey, that's good, Doc. Let's get it going.
Yeah, yeah. Look, I probably won't give you justice about doing this intro, but I've had the great pleasure of working with Mr. Lambert over the past year, and he's doing some, when I say amazing work at Shorter College when it comes to getting students to college, but not only to college, through college as well. And again, Shorter College in Little Rock. His position is Dean of Student Affairs and Admissions. And look, probably many other hats that you wear, man. So I'm gonna pause right there
All right.
and let you just tell us a quick high-level overview of your day-to-day work and the things that you're doing in your current role at Shorter.
Okay, great. Yes, welcome everyone. Like I said, my name is Reginald Lambert. I'm the Dean of Student Affairs and Recruitment here at Shorter College, and I'm excited to be here. I love what I do. And so, what do that entail, right? What do I do every day? And so, the general student affairs. Let's take that piece first. So, when we get them there, I guess let's go recruitment.
Yeah.
So I go out and recruit the students, I try to give students an opportunity a lot of times that they might not get, or they might be academically ready, but sometimes they still are nervous to make that step. And so the perks about being at Shorter, we're a 2 year. And so my job is to help you understand, hey, we're here to help you throughout your whole process to get these 2 years underneath your belt. So you
Yeah.
can prepare and understand what college really is. I'm a first generation college student, meaning the first to go in my family, and I didn't understand anything. And I went to a 4 year and I was
Right.
lost my first year. So
Yeah.
I had to take an additional year. And so my job is to make sure that provide resources to our students when I recruit them. Not only that I'm gonna recruit them to Shorter, but I'm gonna give them the resources that they need, whether that's financial aid, how they can get their bill paid, where they stay on campus, or
Yeah.
just how to get to class, how to log on and to check your homework and your Canvas and your Blackboard
Mhm.
and those resources that we provide our students. And so that's the first and foremost that I love to
Yeah.
just kind
Yeah.
of walking the students there day by day, because that's
Right.
kind of my day by day.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
we talk about student affairs, that's everything in a nutshell outside of the academic piece. So what do you do when you're not in the classroom?
Mm, mhm,
And
mhm.
so that's what student affairs really come into, those co-curricular activities. So whether that's providing accessibility resources to you, making sure we're connecting those bridges, making sure that you even have a meal. So we can tell you about the
Right.
cafeteria, the dining services,
Yeah.
residence hall, campus safety. I created a food pantry on our campus as well. So we
Wow.
can get those
Yeah.
additional resources for food shortages, hygiene shortages. And so whatever that is that will make Shorter your home, we will try to provide those resources with you for you. That's
Man.
what we try to do.
I love it. I love it, man. Again, I was like, look, I'm sure I won't give your bio justice, man, because I know personally how many great things that you do for students, and like you said, onboarding them, but not only just getting them there and like, hey, you here, you're on your own. You do so many things to like walk them through to and through that degree, man, within that 2 year span. And so definitely thank you for being on the podcast. This season, man, I'm opening up with asking all of my guests this question, man. If you can give a student a superpower, right, to get them to and through college, what would that superpower be and why?
Yeah. Well, I like to use this superpower because, my name begins with an R, Reginald. So I like to kind
Yeah.
of stick with those. Resilience. I want students to
Yeah.
know that college is not just academics.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
about navigating life, those transitions that you're going to face, how to pivot. So the more resilient that we can try to get mold our students today,
Right.
especially in this early in their college career, the more successful they will be when they walk across that stage. And whether they're ready to go into the workforce, whether they're ready to go to a 4 year, we want our students to be resilient because they're going to face so many barriers outside of once they cross these doors at shorter college. And I just want the students to know that it's okay, that we're going to teach you about your financial hardships, the self-doubt, how to deal with your family,
Yeah.
those things that you bring, that baggage that you bring with you. But we also want you to focus on your degree, your college, reason why you're here. And so we want our students to be resilient. So when they are ready to cross over and become a student leader, graduate, they can tell the other cohort of students that come in after behind them, hey, I'm gonna teach you how to be resilient. And they're going, what's that? How to navigate college, how to
Man.
play the game of college right here.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
you
There we go. There
uh,
we go.
that's one of the superpowers that
Yes, 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 man. I love it. I love it. I couldn't agree more, man. I think, like you said, if you can just get that one superpower that you just mentioned, it's gonna take you through just your entire life, man. Because life, I always tell you, life be life, and it's a student say,
yes, it
right?
does.
So it's like, what tools do you have to navigate the space? Because life is gonna come at you, man. Nobody's exempt from everyday life and hardships, man. No matter who you are, and so I think having that superpower and really learning that early, so very important, man. So appreciate you dropping those nuggets. And as we continue the conversation, man, of course, a chapter in the book is how to select the right college. And I've heard you saying a lot of different verbiage around 2 year HBCU, 4 year technical school, right? And so if we're talking to a student, just say we got Joe that's listening to the podcast, man. He's listening to Mr. Reginald Lambert, and he's maybe wondering, hey, I hear all these types of colleges, but how do I know a college is correct for me or the right college? What advice would you give that student of just like where to start?
Right. Well, that's always, that hard question. I would take my story.
Yeah.
I went to a predominantly white institution, a PWI in Arkansas, a D2. So that was about 9,000 plus students. As a first
Wow.
generation student of color,
Okay.
I didn't tour the campus or anything. I kind of just
Showed up.
showed up.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. So sometimes what I like to tell students when I'm out there recruiting, and we're not gonna get everybody to kind of short, but the one
Yeah.
thing that I share with all students, do you feel like this can be your home?
Mm-hmm.
Because this is what you're going to see more than your home now.
That's
Do you
true.
feel comfortable? And that's why it's so important for those nuggets for the faculty and staff to make sure that they treat every student the same, that these students feel welcoming. I was at an event the other day, Doc, and I talked to my recruiter, and she said, Dean, the environment, the vibe that I got here was warm.
I love
Will
it.
you
Yeah.
feel warm? And so you can go to a 2 year, you can go to a 4 year,
Yeah.
HBCU, PWI, wherever you want to fit in.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
do they have the resources that you're looking for? Like, don't just
Mm-hmm.
follow the crowd because this is a popular school right here. What is it about you? Because you're the only one that's in the seats getting ready to try to find a way to graduate and walk across that stage. And so, do you feel warm when you step on that campus? Do you feel warm when you make those connections when they call you to say, do you got your paperwork in?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they have those resources for you because at the end of the day, all our students are going to be nervous about selecting the right college.
So true.
So
So true.
sometimes as a student, a young student, you just have to feel, do this feel like home? When
Yeah.
you're on the phone with someone, do they make you feel welcome? Do they make you feel warm? Is it welcoming? When you walk across I'm at that campus, that's definitely a big one, right? Do you feel like
Right.
I can make this my home? And
Man.
hopefully those other resources in place can actually help navigate you to make sure you make the right choice.
So true, man. You just said a mouthful right there. I think, again, college fit, like you said, it should just feel natural. You should feel like you're at home, and there's so many different types of colleges now. Does it align with your overall career goals? Number one, right? And then, like you said, hey, do people, like if you were visiting someone home, do they make you feel welcome, right? That's a big thing. It's not like, hey, I'm bothering you by being here, just, and so some of those key pieces, man. And like you said, even touring the college. I know I had the great fortune of touring shorter with a group of students from Memphis, and that was the common theme of like, man, everybody was just so nice and so welcoming. The food was great, the dorms. And so that's the environment if you're a potential student. And I say go on all the tours, Reginald. Like, I hear some students, well, I don't want to go to that school. I ain't going. You just never know. Like, that's how I got to MTSU. I just went on a trip, not planning to go. I wanted to go to Morehouse. Like that was my goal.
Right.
But then when I went to MTSU, man, walked on the campus. The student ambassadors were welcoming, the professors, and I left like, man, this feels like home. Plus, it was way cheaper. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always a good one.
So it hit, it touched my pockets too. Like, do
Yeah.
I want to pay $30,000 a year? Do I want to pay 5,000 a year?
Mm.
So you have to determine what's your overall goal. So thank you for calling that
Yes.
out, man. So very, very important. I know. So let's flip to the other side, man. I know you
Okay.
mentioned getting students there, college fit, right? The superpower, how to get to and through college. Once they're there, what's some of the common themes, right? Because I always tell people, you're in that honeymoon stage for maybe 3, 4 weeks. I always say right after Labor Day,
Yeah.
maybe, and, then a lot of students fall off, they're not going to class, they're late, they're missing class, they're missing assignments. And to be honest, man, a lot of times students, they drop out. That's the unfortunate part of college, right? What's some of the common themes that you see students get caught up in that cause them to drop out of college?
First one, self-doubt.
Okay.
Self-doubt.
Yeah.
Once the honeymoon phase, which is that welcome week pace,
Yeah. Yeah.
self-doubt. They're like, "Oh my gosh, I got homework every day. I have to read. I have to do
Yeah.
this. I have to submit assignments." And even before midterms, a lot of students just they doubt themselves.
Yeah.
And that's a
Yeah.
that's a twofold, Dr. Boyd.
Mhm.
They have self-doubt on themselves, and sometimes and then, they go back home when they go visit. I told her
Yeah.
you couldn't do it, right? So you got family in your ear. But then we're not gonna always just be negative, right? But sometimes it's the family. They may have to find out I'm
Mhm.
working a full-time job and I have to provide for my family.
Yeah.
Or you might have those ones that's afraid, like myself, I was pre-med biology.
Okay. Okay.
I wasted a year. I'm not even good in biology.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
I went to business. So I waited a year. And so sometimes the students are afraid that it's okay to change. It's okay to make
Mhm.
that change,
Mhm.
especially early in your career. It's okay. And I want
Yeah.
students to
Yeah.
understand that it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's we can talk all day, but just to let the
Man,
student know that it's okay.
it's okay.
It's X,
Yeah.
Y, or Z.
Man, so true. And like you said, nothing is set in life. We all
Right.
have to pivot, and knowing when to pivot, it's okay. I've changed. Man, I'm glad you said that. I changed my major maybe twice, in college. Went doing what I thought people wanted me to do. And Sean, you're going to be a doctor. Oh, yeah, I'm be a doctor. I don't even know what I want to do. I'm going to be a doctor.
Yeah,
Got
yeah,
there, then it didn't work. I jumped over here, And so, I think, like you said, just keeping an open mind,
yeah.
being self-doubt the low times come, because they will come, right? It's gonna be
Trust me.
days you
Yeah.
don't want to get up and go to school, but like, what's my goal? Can I get a circle around me? And sometimes the unfortunate part, man, your family might not be that circle. And I'm
Right.
glad you called that out. And so finding people like a Mr. Reginald, it's shorter, that you can lean on, accountability, all of those pieces, man, are so, so very key. So, man, I think that's so great that you called that out. And as we look at engagement, I know you're a big part of your role is, like you said, things outside of the classroom.
Yes.
To me, it's sometimes they are more important than what happens in the class, because
Yes.
you're learning like life skills and soft skills and engagement, right? What would you say to that student who's more of an introvert? I get there, I don't want to be involved. I just want to go to class, get back in my car. I want to talk to anybody. What advice would you give to that student?
Yeah. Just having a conversation with that student and something that I've learned and I'm learning exposure.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really big on exposure. And even with our introverts, as you can tell, I'm an extrovert for sure.
Yeah.
But for my introverts, just exposure. Walk them through that. There's been plenty of times. I have a housing background, Dr. Boyd. So there's
Okay.
been plenty of times we had that one resident in their room the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
We invite them to one game. You never know. It's board games. It can be more than just that soft skill workshop, right? It could just be a game night or something like that. Just a
Right.
piece to expose them to the resources that we have on campus. And so just having conversations, and we have to expose our students.
That's true.
They're in the
So
room
true.
for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
And exposure is probably your best tool that you can use to try to
So
get your
true.
students involved on your campus.
So true. And I won't only call out the introvert. What about the extrovert? Sometimes we can do too much.
Too
Uh,
much.
like you like, I'm in the organization. I'm in 10, my first year.
10.
10, you sure that's gonna be so? What would you say to that student?
Yeah, yeah, that's exposure too, because now they're gonna realize how to balance.
Yeah, yeah,
So they it's good to get all this on you, right? And everything steady piling up on you. And then what happens? Now I
right.
really can't do it because I don't really know how to multitask, right? I'm not
Yeah, yeah,
organized. And
right.
so that's exposure too. So we got to teach you those tools. It's okay. You don't have to overwhelm yourself to try to get involved or try to fit in, right? It's a marathon.
So
And it's
true,
just about
man.
how we talk to these students. That's how it
Yeah.
is at the end of the day. How do we talk to? Because I can go out there and say, well, you're doing, you exposed, right? You're doing too
Right.
much. That's not going to work, Dr. Boy. We have to talk to these students and build relationships. I am very big on relationships. Actually, one of my specialties is sense of belonging, right?
Yeah.
They're just trying to find where they belong. And so they got to put all these organizations and projects together, but it's okay, right? Once again, I go
Yeah.
back to it's okay. And just
So
expose
true.
our students, whether that's an
Right.
introvert, extrovert.
So true. And how does I love how you saying relationships. I think that's so key. And I think mentorship, relationships, any type of ship, right?
Yeah.
That's gonna fuel you. Let me rephrase it. There's some relationship that subtract from you. So anything that's gonna fuel you and really add to what you're trying to do, great to do, right?
Right.
But again, I guess a lot of times students they're afraid to ask for help, especially when first gen students, hey, I'm new to the space. I don't want to sound stupid if I ask this question. What advice would you give to that student?
You're not the only one.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
always go back to myself because, I was down to
yeah.
my student. I never talked to my professors,
Okay.
especially if they didn't look like me. And
Yeah.
I didn't start until my late junior year
Okay.
to start talking to my faculty members.
Okay.
And for a student to realize, well, here, you're not alone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just those relationships, and those are those workshops that we have with our students to kind of say
Yeah.
how to manage the classroom or how to speak up for yourself, how to build confidence. Because once you have that confidence, right, it's going to take you to another level. But once again, it goes back to knowing that it's okay to ask a question. And
Mhm.
so those are the things that I like to let our students know that it's okay. We got to build that confidence. I'll tell my student leaders today. I just met with a group that's getting ready to do an event for us now. I said, just be confident.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Just if you can just be confident and ask the question, you will be amazed at the results that you will receive.
So true. So true, man. A great, great piece of advice, man. Seriously. And as we talk, we're coming to the end of this interview, man. This has been great. Just some great
Yes.
information. I know it's going to help so many students, no matter what college. We want them to apply to shorter, right?
Hey,
But
yes,
no matter what
please.
college they're going to, if it's in life, man, this is just some great jewels that you're dropping. And it leads me to the value of education, right? We're in 2025 where the value of education is
Mm,
always questioned, right?
mhm.
Especially with students who have so many competing things. When we talk about post secondary, you got students who saying, "Hey, I can go on YouTube and make $10,000 a month,"
Yeah,
which
true.
is true. Hey, I can go game and make 20,000 a month. I don't need a degree. I'm not gonna waste time and money. And you even have parents, man.
Mm,
I talked to a student the other day. Mom was like, college is a waste of time. Education is a waste of time. You need to go work. And so what would you say? I know we've been talking about college types. That's one type of student. They got their mind made up. They want to go to college. But then on the flip side, we have the one who might be on the line. It's like, hey, is college education, a post-secondary credential worth the time and the value? What's your take?
yes, that's one thing I like to tell a lot of people when it comes to education to myself. Education is a tool,
Yeah.
right? You always trying to find new ways to improve your skill.
So
And
true.
I like to say with the tool, you stayed grounded, but you never stop growing. So that's what college is. You just finding avenues. What you think is how do you continue to stay growing? And it took me to the point of my master's program that I had to realize about. We took all those general elective courses right during your bachelor's, that 4-year degree students,
Hmm.
all those general electives that you had to take. And
Yeah.
now when I look back in my professional standing and when I talk with students, those are just keeping your tools sharpened. And so
So
when you are
true.
ready to perform outside of whether that's your YouTube training, whether
Yeah.
that is your school training, you're going to do some type of training, right? Workforce training. When you get ready to use
Hmm.
those tools
Yeah.
and you compete, are you sharp enough to compete to get to those figures that you want to get to, right?
So true.
And that's how I look at those classes that you have to take. That I don't have
Yeah.
to eat these. I just want to take my core courses. But all those tools are sharpening you to make you a better
Mhm.
individual. That's why they always say you're never going to stop learning.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're never going to stop learning.
Yeah.
And what matters to you is the
Mhm.
growth
Mhm.
that you are trying to build inside of you.
So true. So true, man. So great advice. Great advice, man. I hope that student who might be on the line with going to any, like I said, post-secondary credential, they're hearing exactly the advice that you're giving them. So thank you for saying that. And as we come to a close, man, look, I could keep you on here all day. I love all things education.
Yes, yes.
And so, man, just to hearing different perspectives when it comes to it, man, I'm just always in awe. And so I love for guests to like just be transparent, man. And you have been doing it by sharing your story along the interview. But as we think to Reggie, I won't call out your age, man. But if you look at your 16-year-old self, right,
Yeah.
from today at 2025, what advice would you give Mr. Lambert, Reginald Lambert, at the age of 16? Any life lesson?
It's okay to ask questions.
Okay. Yep.
It is okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, 16-year-old Reggie, pride,
Hmm.
gotta learn to put your pride to the side if you want to be
Yeah.
successful.
So
That
true.
was that was my biggest part was pride.
Man, man. And again, that's gonna help so many folks, man. It sounds so simple,
Yeah.
right? But it's so powerful, right? Like
Yeah.
put your pride to the side, man. It's okay to ask for help. It's
Mhm.
okay, especially in 2025 where the landscape of just the world.
True.
I can stop right there. It's just
Yeah.
you never know what you're gonna get day to day,
Right.
right? And so many people are just going through hard times, man. It's okay to say I'm not okay.
Right. Yeah.
Seek help, put your pride to the side, man. Counseling is
Mhm.
so important, man. And I love how counseling is becoming like it's normal. It's
Right. Yeah.
normalized, and me being in education now for 23 years, I remember when students didn't even talk. It was like this bad word to say I'm going to counseling. But now people have this pride to say, I got a
Yeah.
counselor, like I got a mental health counselor. And it's like they wear these t-shirts and I love it.
Yeah.
Like I love it, man, when I see it. I even do a mental health workshop, man,
Oh,
because it's
yes.
just so
Great.
needed. It's just so needed. So, man, I say all that to say, because again, we can stay on here all day.
Hey.
Thank you
What?
for being on here, Mr.
Yes.
Lambert. I just want to thank you for the great work that you're doing. I've had a chance to partner with you over the past year and witness myself personally just the impact of students that you just the passion or purpose, man, behind what you do, which is so important, man. Any last thing that you want to say as we close out?
Enjoy the moment, students. Enjoy the moment. That's my only advice. I'm not going to stay long, but just
Yeah,
enjoy the process.
so
It's
true.
okay.
So true.
Relax and
Yes.
enjoy it.
Enjoy the process, enjoy
Yeah.
the ride. And man, flash that book one more time as I
There it
close
is.
this out.
This
Yes.
is not just because I'm on a podcast. I keep Dr. Boyd book on my desk.
Man, I appreciate that. And again, to my guests, look, this is my closing, man. To my guests, you could go on Amazon, get a copy of that book. You could go on my website. Again, I wrote that book just to serve as a resource, as a guide, man, just as we had the conversation today. And so, guests, I just want to thank you for tuning in. Mr. Lambert will be watching this podcast. He's going to comment when you comment. So I need you to comment. I need you to share. I need you to like, right?
Yeah,
Share this podcast, man.
I
And so,
will.
again, thank you so much for being on here. And guess we will see you next week on Wednesday as we premiere a new interview. Thank you.
All right. Thank you all. Thank you, Dr. Boyd.